G'day everybody, I should be doing chores and here I am over at our sorghum field. It's looking pretty good today. We have got a nice crop yield coming along and I reckon it's going to be ready in about the next month or so. You'll also see that I've been able to bring across 6 long plank pallets and 2 short plank pallets to go with our wood beams that we've been able to punch out at the sawmill. Now that's all the good news. Unfortunately, the bad news is I applied for a job to do some weekend forklift work over at a neighbouring town, and the guys at the sawmill took a video of my loading practices as a bit of an audition tape. Unfortunately, they said that I was unsuccessful in that job application. Something about unsafe work practices and OH&S insurance, whatever. I don't know. It seems pretty raw to me right now. But I guess while some dreams will never come true, we've got the opportunity to build on our own dreams here at this farm. And I'm pretty excited about that. So today, we're going to get stuck in and we're going to see what we can turn these long planks into that might be a good launch pad for us on this farm. And it's also time that we reflect on the fact that it is now the month of August, and that represents a full 1 year since we've been on this farm. So yep, that's right, it is our 1 year anniversary when we first got the opportunity to pull up and work on the shop's land over there. And look at how far we've come, guys. It's been a pretty big year. Lots of contract work done, helping out the other farmers in our community. But we've managed to really grab a foothold into this beautiful little town. And we've got our own piece of land here that we're able to show for it. And today we're going to make use of that land. And we're going to do something that I've been talking about for quite a while, which is we're going to start to build ourselves our own farmstead. And we're going to use these planks and beams that we've been able to get manufactured for us from our deadwood contract byproducts, and we're going to build some stuff ourselves. Now, as far as where we can build it, this fence here pretty much represents the property line. So those 2 sheds down there, I don't own, but I do own this roadway, and we do own quite a bit of land all the way down the back of the lot here. Again, the roadway essentially, and then almost up to the footpath here. So we do have quite a bit to play with, and we've got some good opportunities to get some structures on here today. Well, principally one structure on here today. We do need to be thinking about moving some of our implements and whatnot from over at the shop to our own land so that we can start clearing up the space on their laydown area, their hard stands. And we also need to be thinking about storage of this crop. When we do harvest it, we need it to be somewhere out of the weather, and it needs to be manageable for us. I probably don't have the money just now to be investing in silos. So we're going to have to do something with the materials that we have at our disposal and the land that we have available, and we don't have a lot of cash either. So let's jump in and see what we can sort out. Okie dokie, folkies. So here we are in the build menu, and today I want to build this guy right here. This here is a nice little 2-bay sort of a carport garage structure with a little bit of storage at the back. And I want to place this one right up here, I think, near the front corner. That way I've got the opportunity to continue expanding down here, but this is going to give us a nice little egress in front of shed to the roadway, and that's going to be really nice to get in and out our equipment with. So let's do that right there. Boom. And before we get too far, we'll do a little bit of softening with our landscaping. So we'll just increase the size of our brush here, maybe that big. Just gently soften around where that structure is going to go. Make sure it sits into its landscape nicely. And now we need to come and supply materials to build this thing. So let's have a look at what it's going to ask us for. It needs 1,000 litres of wood beams, 1,000 litres of long planks, and 1,000 litres of planks. So let's get those to start with, and we'll get this construction happening. Next, I do think we need to take a couple of jobs today. We need to get some more deadwood into the mill. I've got a lot more structures that we need to build over the coming months and to year. And we're going to need some cash for the other materials that we need to procure to make that happen as well. I'm not in the business of making concrete products, for example, but it would be a really good idea to continue with our, I suppose, deadwood felling and producing these sawmill products. That'll save us a lot of money, but we can buy any roof plates or bricks or cement bags or whatever else we need. We don't have to be manufacturing all of that. I think it's a little bit unlikely that I would be doing enough stone collecting, for example, to justify making cement products. So let's get this one loaded up. And we'll start having a think about what we can do to earn a little bit of income today. Got to remember the brakes in this thing are a little bit softer, especially when you've got a bit of weight on the forks. Now I've got another idea in mind for what we can do about the sorghum. Again, it needs to be kept inside our structure that we're building here, nice and dry. And I'd really like to be moving some of our equipment out of the shop's hard stand and into our structure as well. We're going to need quite a few farm buildings to house all of the implements that we have, and I know for a fact that this small I guess carport that we're building won't be suitable for parking our combine harvester. So there's another project I've got in mind for that. That's a fairly big one. And we'll drop that one in. Now I also want to use this structure to store all of the hay bales that we produced last month. They're still sitting out over in the field, and we want to get them in before the weather turns. We need one pallet of wood beams, and then we should be squared away. After that, I might bring this tractor over to unload all of these wood products so that they're nice and neatly stored. And then we'll crack on with a couple of contracts. We will make sure that the workers are given jobs today as well. Obviously, when we moved here and we got the opportunity from the shop owner to work their land, obviously they were going to pay tens of thousands of dollars to have somebody come in and clear that lot for them, and they're waiting a couple of years on council approval for the kind of structures that they want to build on their lot. You know, they gave us a really great opportunity to come in here and get our foothold, clearing that land and working that site. But obviously, there's a lot of others in the community here who are looking for work as well, and it's great to be able to provide them with an opportunity to make a bit of income in helping the farmers in this community to produce goods for the wider community. So we're all part of that big wheel system. We're just little cogs in it. All right, let's get this unloaded and we'll get on with some contract jobs. Okay, we'll just get our trailer parked up now. And with any luck, we'll find some contract work today for our harvester. And we'll be able to get this configured into a grain wagon and go and use that. But for now, I think there's a wood transport contract and a deadwood contract. Both are calling my name. The deadwood contract is essential to do because we need to pump some more wood into the sawmill. The wood transport contract, that's optional. And I think there's some lime and fertilizer contracts available as well that we can get some workers onto. So let's take a look in the menus now and see what we can find. Okay, so here in the contracts menu, there are 4 harvesting contracts, but these are all for carrots or green beans. Nothing that I am interested in doing today. We cannot borrow all of this equipment, unfortunately. There is a liming contract, however, and that is worth good money over at Field 19. We can set a worker off to do that one. We already have several thousand litres of lime sitting available for us. There's a deadwood contract to collect 8 trees from just over the road here from our land. So we can tackle that one and pump that into the mill. And there's a wood transport contract from the bottom side of the map going towards the biomass plant. So that's actually super convenient for us. Let's jump in and tackle this deadwood contract first for ourselves. We'll take that. That's our priority. Then we will set our worker off to do field number 19. And after those are done, we will regroup and assess our next actions. Alright guys, here we are pulling up now at the sawmill. We're just going to unload this wood. We've got 16,000 litres in the sawmill right now. So we might switch our production up a little bit. You can see we've still got some long planks coming out, and that is excellent. We need a lot of those. We also need quite a few wood beams. So I'm going to set the production back to doing both the long planks and wood beams. So if we jump into the production point here, and we'll set wood beams. Now we've already produced 329 litres from the last batch, so that is great. Means we got a head start on the next pallet being spawned. Now, that was a pretty successful little mission though. We can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pallets of wood chips up here as well, which is 1,000 litres apiece. So that's going to be worth a bit of money for us in the January. Now, before we head back to the shop, let's jump in and collect our contracts. We did have... let's undo these straps. We did have another opportunity to set our worker on a second liming contract. So they finished up their work on the first field and headed over to field number 6, I believe. Yes. So they finished field number 19, and we get to collect 1,884 for that contract. Then they went over to field 6. We'll collect another 2,001 for completing that contract. And we completed the Deadwood contract for 1,200. That's a pretty decent payday right there. We're up to 9,894. We started just below 8,000, so including our construction, that's not bad going so far today. I'm going to get the worker to take that tractor back to the shop now, and I believe we have some harvesting contracts that we might be able to look at. So we're going to create their job. Just go to down here for me, please, right at the shop. And start that job. Now, let's take a look at the contracts menu. All of these contracts have dropped in, which is great, but are any of them something that we can do? I think these were all the ones that were here when we logged in. No. Parsnips, red beets, peas, red beets, green beans, carrots, and carrots. We are SOL as far as it goes for harvesting contracts. That's most unfortunate. But there is a fertilizing contract there, and there's a baling contract. Interesting. A couple of spraying contracts and wood transport. We don't own a sprayer. We could buy one, but probably not on my immediate dance card. Wood transport, though, is up my alley. We could totally do that one today, and it's worth good coin, not transferring it too far to the biomass plant. So let's get back to the shop, and maybe the situation will have changed by the time we get there. We shall see. We also need to check in on our construction and see if the materials that we dropped off have been consumed. I think we might need to supply some concrete next, so that we can do the foundations. We'll have to sort that out if we do. I've got a mod installed here, which is a placeable pallet spawn. I think it just comes with the addable triggers mod, available from the mod hub. So we'll use that one for all of our construction material deliveries. Now, in real life, I would absolutely be getting concrete, blocks, and all those other materials delivered directly to my door for any construction project that I was doing. So I don't think that's too unrealistic. Alright guys, as we can see, the work on the small shed is going pretty well. We are almost done with stage 1 of what looks like 8 stages. So pretty keen to see what comes next. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some concrete though for the base. So while we wait for this to tick over, which probably will occur in the next hour, we are going to tackle some more projects, and I think we should also look at building. Where do we go here? I think it's under tools. Yes. Here is a pallet buying station by the Addable Triggers mod, and this is a really cool little thing. Now, in my real life, I would absolutely be getting delivery of materials directly to my door. I would not be trekking around to collect pallet loads full of blocks and roof tiles and all that kind of stuff. So I want to put this down somewhere nearby. It's €1,000 to buy. It does overlap with some objects here. My concern is if I want to use this area down here, I'm spending €1,000 for not a lot of benefit. But I also want it to be close to where I'm building, so maybe that's just a cost that we eat. And we can say that that covers our delivery expenses. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll place our trigger here. All right. So what we'll be able to do now is come over here and order with the R key a variety of different products that come in pallets. So we can see here the base price for some wood planks would be €1,040. And as we scroll through, we can buy all manner of things, but we'd be looking at these cement bags as well as other building products. I think toward the end here we should find cement bricks and roof plates. Now we'll be needing these for a lot of different construction projects that we might have in mind. We call these roof tiles in Australia, not plates, but to each their own, I guess. All right, so while this chips away at its next job, you know what? I've got another construction project in mind as well. We're just on an absolute bender today, and I'm not sad about it. So let's head down this way. I've been thinking about, kind of golden rules of farming. And yeah, it's fine to go and harvest your crops and whatnot, but sometimes we're not making the best use of our time and energy if we're not doing a value add. A value add on the products that we're producing. So I've been thinking a little bit about, chickens are one of those things where the sorghum that we grow here, we're not going to get a great deal of money for that as a product if we tried to sell it. Let's go into here and we'll have a look at sorghum. Okay, so current market price, 350 odd euros per 1,000 litres. Up to 522 per 1,000 litres. Now, if we get 13,000 litres out of this field, I'd be pretty surprised. So I don't think we're going to make a lot of money back towards our investment in this field just off the raw produce that we make from it. So I want to take that and turn it into something more valuable. Chickens are one way of doing that. We can make eggs from the chickens and profit much more greatly from our work here. And I was thinking the same thing for the hay bales. So we've got a couple of options. There's a bunch of animals in this game which do consume hay. We could get horses, we could get goats, and we could get cattle. Horses are a fair bit of work and a fair bit of investment as well. I'm not really ready for them. big cattle, probably not in my capabilities right now. We don't have enough land to feed more than a few head. Goats are fine, and I don't mind the idea of that, but I think something a little bit more unique might be to deal with calves instead. So we'll jump into construction here and go into the animal window, and then down here we go. I've installed these lizard calf huts. Now, they come in different orientations, so there's a left and a right orientation. The idea being that you can place one of your left orientations down and then place a right on the other side, and you get access to all of their food and water points. So I like that idea, and I think I might want to put one of them down here. Which way do I want to go? Let's start with the right side. Yeah. So let's get a couple of little baby calves down here on our farm. Now, what I thought might be fun is to do this, we can shoot a little bit of crop I wasn't expecting to, but that's okay. We can go and see Katie, the animal dealer, and she will no doubt have some weaners that have come off their mothers recently and are needing to be looked after. So all we need to do is bring them down here and raise them up for a few months, maybe 5-6 months, and when they get too big for this igloo, then we can sell them on for a profit. And we should generate a lot more from our hay doing this than we would selling it just as, you know, a bale for 50 euros per cubic meter it is, or 1,000 litres. So for this, we are going to need some water, and we've already got the hay bales. So what we might do is we might get ourselves a well, and I did find one of those here as well. I'm going to need that under tools, and then not tools, not farmhouses, containers. Aha! Here we go, 400 euros for this little well. Now, I can't put it right there because I do want to have another calf hut next to it, but we could place this right here. That wouldn't be too bad. So there we go. Well, well, well. Welly, welly, welly. This looks pretty good to me. So we are going to need a couple of things. We can get animals delivered here, but that will cost us quite a bit of money. Normally, Katie will just run over here with the truck with a couple of chickens in a box. But if I need to bring little baby cows over, then we're going to need a proper trailer to put them in. And so she charges us quite a bit more to deliver them here to the farm. I think we can skip that cost, but we will have to buy an animal trailer. We're also going to need a water barrel or bowser to transport water from our new well into the buckets that we're going to be feeding the cows from. So let's go and get that sorted straight away. Now, we can easily get 1 or 2 bales, and we'll put them on a trailer, and we'll pick up the water barrel now as well. So jump into the purchasing menu. Dum-de-dum, down here we go. So they're going to be in barrels, and we should have a hand pushable water tank. Yes, here we go, 300 euros. There's also a self-made water tank out of a IBC that we could put on the back of our tractor. That's for 1,000. It carries quite a bit more water, twice the capacity. It can also carry other liquids, but I'm not interested in those just now. For our purposes right now, though, I think this is probably sufficient. So we'll buy that. Cool. And you might notice that our funds are getting a little bit low. When I had a bit of a break just after completing the previous recording, I neglected to immediately save. So my most recent save was just after I had put all of the rest of the logs into the sawmill. So I've sent the worker back here in the tractor, and I need to go and collect the contract fees still. Apologies for that. This is a pretty decent sized barrel, 500 litres. Alrighty, let's refill this one now with water. And then we'll go and drop this into our new little calf igloo. There we go. Now what I can do is I can park this water barrel just over here, right beside this well. Beautiful. And let's go and collect those contract fees. That's better. And now that we're cashed up, we might look at a trailer to go and pick up 1 or 2 baby calves. So I'm thinking we could look for, yes, beef cattle would be fine, but there's probably some dairy farmers in the area who, you know, they've had their calves come to help with their milking program, and they don't need the bull calves, so they'll be moving them on. And they would be perfect for us to raise up here and make a bit of extra cash. So let's jump in and buy an animal transport trailer. Yes. So there's a few options around. There are the standard base game ones, and then I've had this animal transport trailer pack installed as well, which allows you to cart chickens, horses, and all other things in these other trailers. And I think they increase the capacity substantially. But this one here is what I'm looking at. So we can carry 1 cow, 2 pigs, or 2 sheep in a trailer this size. No chickens, but I've got another tool up my sleeve for that at another time. For now, though, let's buy our little small animal trailer. And we'll go to the shop and pick it up. Then we can go and see Katie and see what she has over at the animal dealer. We might cut over there now. Alright guys, here we are. Just finished up having a chat with old Katie over here. And she's hooked us up with a beautiful new animal to come home with us today. Now if we jump in here, we found this little guy here. Now he doesn't have a name yet, but he's a Holstein bull, 1 month old, and he's in very good overall condition. Look at this guy, specimen. I would actually hang on to him as an absolute keeper for our own farm, but we'll have to see how we go over the next few months, because he will age out and he'll get too big for that calf hut. So we're going to grab this guy today for just 295 euros, and we'll take him home with us. There are some other animals here that we could consider as well. This is Houston. Overall condition is bad. That's not necessarily a bad thing for us, though. We are looking to just feed these animals up for a few months, make a little bit more profit than we would off of that hay being sold directly, and see if we can, you know, keep a little business going here in that regard. We just don't want anything like, who did I see? Oh, look at this guy. Extremely bad. I mean, he's a beautiful, floofy Highland cow, but yeah, I think we don't want to take our chances with animal losses, given the health conditions of these animals. So for today, we are going to grab this little guy, this Holstein bull. Let me know in the comments down below if you can think of a name for this little fella, and we're going to bring him home with us. Okay, here we are pulling back in now with our first little baby cow on board. Let's not go that way, let's go the other way, please. There we go. We'll drive around here. And here. Then we should be able to unload this little guy. Oops, I'll have to jump the gate here. Oh, there he is. Look at this little fella. Somehow I expected him to be a big giant animal. I had some misconceptions. Alright, let's bring him into... Where are you, little guy? From the trailer, please. We mustn't be in the trigger. Let's unfold that. Aha, there we go. Let's put this little guy, select him, and move him to the husbandry. There he is! Look at him, he's so cute! He's got his little ear tags on. He's got an udder, which is not what bulls have, but, you know, we'll run with it. Now, I can bring some straw in here as well, and that straw will be useful for getting the manure out of this place. Oh, he's a little guy. Look at him. Look at him. New life on the farm, guys. Very, very exciting indeed. He needs some food, though. We better get on that quick as we can. We'll go and load up our bale trailer with just a couple little hay bales. Actually, you know what? We can just throw them in the back of this trailer for now. We don't need to switch around. Oh, I don't like that lip there. I'll have to come and landscape that in a second. Let's go and get this little guy some food. Now, yes, normally they would be weaned with dehydrated milk, which you mix in with water. But in this case, and in extreme cases, you can wean them in other ways. In this game, and using this mod, they do just use hay bales, which is fine. We will just use maybe 3 bales. I don't think it'll take all of that, but we'll take them for now. Let's go! I've got an emergency cow to feed. Now what's cool about that little placement is I'll be able to see those baby cows as I drive past on the main road all the time, which is pretty cool. might also find that they are very well socialized with people walking past on that footpath. I should put a sign up. €2 to feed the baby cows. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's grab a bale. Pop that in here. Looks like this will take more food. And what do we think? Should we go and pick up another one just for funsies? 1, 2, and 3. Whoop, I dropped it. There we go. So it takes 1,600 litres. That is good to know. Let's pop the excess of that bale just right there. Ooh. Yeah. Look at this little guy. Alright. Let's do it. Let's go and get another one. But first, let's check in how we're going with our construction project. We'll go around this way this time. You may notice I am burning a little bit of time, just hoping we get a contract come through for harvesting. I'd really like to use that machine today. Let's see. Yes, we do have a need for 2,000 litres of cement bags. So let's take our tractor here over. We can drop our trailer there. And come on over this way. Okay, and over here we order... Where are we? Cement bags times 2, 1,680 euros. We'll buy those, and then we'll cart them over. Now the cool thing about this lift wood mod is you're just basically putting straps around anything you want to carry, so it will absolutely work with these cement bags. You could also use it just like a pallet fork if you wanted to. You could drive the rods down there. Yeah, I got to fix that lip there. Okay. And in they go. And construction continues. So what we might do, we'll go head over to the servo and get some fuel, because we are running a bit low on fuel. Then we'll chuff on over to the animal dealer, grab ourselves another baby cow. Or a bull, I suppose. So that our little mate over there has another little mate. Get a little mate for our little mate. And then we'll come back and see what kind of jobs are waiting for us after 1 o'clock. Alright guys, here we are. So I picked this little guy. His name is Houston. And the reason I picked him is because, well, let's move him into our husbandry here. The reason I picked him is because he had the best health. So his overall condition, fertility was low, milk production low, quality low, but he had high health. And I just didn't want to take the chances with, I guess, animal losses from low health. So this little guy, I think, is a good opportunity. And yes, I am aware I did just buy my calf a calf to play with. Yep, I am that guy. But that's okay, because look at them. They're so cute. With their big gangly legs. I love it. This is possibly the best mod that I have installed in a very long time. Alright, let's get on and do some jobs. So, right, we went to the servo, we got some fuel. Our maintenance bar is getting a little bit low. We are going to have to do that probably towards the end of today. We got 2,000 litres of concrete in there, so that's working away. I think by the time we finish up our day, we should be probably needing to throw some more products in there. We shall see. And it is after 1 o'clock, so I think if we're going to get a job to do today for the harvester, then that will be now. Otherwise, we're going to have to do other things. I'm not sure what kind of other things. I am currently hanging out at a service station. But, wow, this thing is responsive. There we go. That's where we want that. Yes, I have no business being on a real farm as I cannot reverse to save my life, but that's okay. Let's get out of here. Alrighty, so I do know that there is a fertilizing contract. We can get a worker onto that, and there is still 3,000 litres of lime in there as well, so let's check that menu out now. Alright, the job board is absolutely pumping. There is still that fertilizing contract there, 2,900 euros. We'll probably have to buy another pallet to do that, but that's alright. Ploughing, spraying, wood transport, that's a different job, smaller job. That's alright. And let's check all of these harvesting contracts. No dice, no dice. Okay, there's square baling and round baling contracts. We don't have the gear for that. There's another deadwood contract, but I don't think we need to go and put anything into the mill right now. I think it's fertilizing, so we might do that one ourselves then. Yeah, let's go and tackle that job all by our lonesome. We don't need to hire a worker for this. How much fertilizer do we have sitting in here? 784 litres. Yeah, alright. Alright guys, that's another job done for us. Now, I'm looking at this grass over here, and I'm thinking we do need to go around and pick up all those bales. Let's jump in and collect the fee for that contract first, though. You know what I think we'll do? Well, I think I know what I'm going to do, but I don't think I'm going to tell you. Happy anniversary, guys. 1 year into the farm. I think that's going to do it for this month. Join me next month, where we do some more on this property here. I think one of the first jobs we do will be picking up these bales, but there's plenty of more action to come. I'm really excited to see how our little moo cows go after their first month on the farm. And we'll have a talk about what we're going to do with old Casanova Rooster, who's been impregnating all our hens as well. We're going to see this construction here materialize before our very eyes. Right now there is 1,292 litres of concrete to still go into our foundations, but soon enough we'll see that one coming up out of the ground. And our sorghum field should be ready to harvest next month, I hope. It is looking fantastic, and I can't wait to try out our new combine harvester. So plenty of fun stuff coming next episode, guys. Until then, I should be doing chores, but here I am playing video games and sharing them with you lovely people on the internet. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave me a comment down below and a like. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't like about it. Maybe I can learn something and improve. And until the next one, guys, I'm going to leave you here with some images of our beautiful little baby potty calves. I hope you guys have a good one.